everybody, and welcome. This is an update of the Washington Terminal Company Model Railroad. My name is David Muse, and thank you very much for joining me. First, I want to say I've changed something on my YouTube site. Instead of David Muse with the picture of the Atlantic coastline, purple and silver E7, that photograph is still there, but now it's just tagged as WTC. And it may change again, I'm not sure, but just wanted to alert you of that. And before I go on with a little update here of what's going on with the Washington Terminal Company Model Railroad, I just want to do some shout outs to Kathy Mallett, Stephen Bennett, JJ from TSLU, and a number of other people, the Daves up in Canada, and the guys from Ontario Railers. I think that's the name of the group. They're just starting out with Sparky and a number of other people. Good luck with that. Like what you have going on. Also to Genos and Derek and everybody at Rail Talk. Great program. Thank you very much. Tom at Tom's Trains and Things. And everybody I've subscribed to, you really helped me out. The update today is going to be kind of brief. Got a lot of things going on, but the weather here in Washington, well, February has been a weird month for us. We had nice weather, but I couldn't get the layout out to settle up and show you what was going on. And I thought in March it would be a little bit better, but it's been kind of a wild month so far for us here. So it's damp outside, but the weather's really nice, but I have to do this indoors. So let's get started. I've been playing with some ballast in the yard and on some other modules. Actually, two of the modules are completely ballasted on the west end. I don't have those set up right now because I only can get two of these modules in my living space without, just not enough space. Got a lot of track work done. I've painted track. All of the modules, the track on it has been painted. And just starting the ballast. I started with the yard on these two modules, a little test I did right here. And down at the other end, I'll show you that in a few minutes. Also had to go back and redo a couple of areas where some track didn't turn out right for me, and maybe one other spot I'm going to address at some point in time. Electrically, I got pretty much everything finished on all of the modules you've seen so far. And hopefully soon, when the weather really breaks for us and I can get this outside and settle all up for you, you'll get to see some of the changes that have taken place over the past few months. I don't get a chance to do these updates a lot, so when I do them, I want to try and cram as much as I can in a very short period of time and not bore you. So give me just a few moments. I'm going to stop right here and move down to the other end to show you some of the ballasting that has been started on the east end of the yard. We're at the east end of the yard at the east module. This is the ladder and lead to all of the tracks in the yard and run around here. Before I could start ballasting, I had to figure out what I wanted to do to throw switches. And I came up with just a very simple solution, nothing fancy at all, because I can't use electronic switches. I don't really want to use them. So I can throw everything by finger here that's in the yard on these Y switches, and on the ladder itself I've put in Caboose Hobby throws. And since I'm just using foam as a surface, that's my sub road bed, I pinned with T-pins and cut them so that I wound up with a little L-shaped head at the top of the pin, and inserted it down into the switch stand here and pinned that down to a piece of cork that I embedded in some silicone. So that's real good and firm, and made sure that I put some Zap glue onto the bottom of this also, along with the pins, to keep it in place. So everything throws just fine. Also, I was playing around with what kind of ballast I wanted, because I want a couple of different kinds in this area to give it, the impression of course, being used, but also the distinction between yard, main line, passenger terminal. And I ran across at a local hobby store some Woodland Scenics. And this is Woodland Scenics Medium Ballast Brown, B1379. And I like that. I think the medium ballast for what I'm doing looks really well with both the Code 83, which I'm using in the yard, the freight mains and the passenger terminal, and also what I'm using on the main line, which is Code 100. So that's turning out really, really nice. And the method I used was what I'm calling the how we method. I didn't coin that. Stephen Bennett, I watched a video that he did about ballasting his railroad, and I had asked him before if he was ever going to do that, and finally he came around, and a number of people, he said, asked him about putting a video out about how he did it, so he calls it How We. And if you get a chance, definitely check out his series. It's really, really good, and he does some really nice stuff on there. So I used his method, which was to take paint, which was the same paint I used in the yard, which was an art paint that I got at an art store for about $1.46 a bottle. Came in a bottle about maybe, about yay big. I don't know what mil size that is, about maybe 3 ounces, 2 ounces or something. And just took it right out of the bottle, no dilution whatsoever, and didn't thin it for any reason. Put it on the sides and came up with a really nice profile, and I wound up using less ballast because I had that grip. There was something for that ballast to really grab onto, so that worked fine. And I think this is really coming out nice. Got to still figure out what to do right here where the throw bar is, and I'll come up with something for that. Next thing I want to show you also is an idea I have for the yard, so I don't use a lot of ballast, but I still get a nice look out of it. And I'm just going to stop right here for just a moment and move down just a little bit so I can show you the next project I'm working on in the yard. Normally, ballast is applied throughout the entire yard. What I've started doing first was to put ballast down on the outside of the ties and some of the tracks in the yard. Only one track in the yard will actually be ballasted all the way through. That's this one here. You see these strips of balsa wood I have here. These are 1/32, and the concept I have for these is I tried painting one once before with some paint, and it has a tendency to curl, and then I found out about foamies. I want to thank, I don't know the gentleman's name, but his YouTube channel is Great Landsberg and Western Railroad. Thank you very much for directing me to someone's channel you knew that used the product Foamy, which is a 12 by 12 by 2 millimeter thick pad. Comes in black, gray, and I think 1 or 2 other colors. I want to find those and put those down to simulate concrete where you see these balsa strips. The reason I'd like to do that is, number one, it cuts down on the amount of ballast. Even though you don't see the full size of these modules right now, and they're 8 feet long by 33 inches wide, there's another one that goes in here, actually in between the two that you first saw in the early part of the video. So that's a lot of ballast, and that's a lot of weight. I'm trying to cut down on weight, and I thought that using the foamies, or originally the balsa, would work out fine, but problems with it curling because of its thinness have really kind of nixed that part of the idea. So I want to go to the foamy and see how that works. So once I get some foamies and put them on here, see what it looks like as a dry fit, and test it, and if I'm happy with it, then I will have concrete pads up here, and I'll put tower lights in a few areas, a few other things, and should look pretty cool. From what I saw the gentleman do on his YouTube channel, and next time I do an update, which I'll try and get one out real soon after this one, I'll make sure that I have the information and provide a link for you so you can go to his channel and check out what he did. On this layout, for what I'm doing, this is nothing new, everything I'm doing here. I've actually gotten all of my ideas from other modelers, and I want to thank everybody so much for allowing me to ask questions and be inquisitive about what they were doing, how they did it, why they did it, making comments about things, and even them asking me about what I thought sometimes. I thought that was priceless. And I look forward to talking to you all some more. If you have questions or comments, if there's something you think that I should look into, something I can do better possibly, please don't hesitate to comment to me and I'll respond as soon as I can. It may take me just a little bit to get back to you, but believe me, I will. I thank you very much for your time, your attention, and checking out the Washington Terminal Company. Until next time, I'm David Muse. Thanks for watching.